Hello and welcome to the 114th, I believe, developer update. And with me today, I have a special guest, Mick from BlitzTCG. How you doing, Mick?
I'm doing great, and just because he requested it, I'm dressed up in my sexy Ergo Dev Update.
No. Let me tell the
Leo.
story here.
Look at
Let me
this
tell
thing.
the story.
Yeah,
Let me tell the story. We're trying to schedule a time to do the dev update, and Mick's like, "Oh, how about 6 p.m. on a Wednesday? I gotta go to gymnastics at 7:30." I'm like, "It's deal, but there's one condition: you have to wear your leotard." to the dev update.
Hey, man.
And here we
Look,
go.
Look, if Blitz is known for anything, it's following through, my man. That's what we do here. That's what we do. No, that's really funny, almost to a sad level. All right, let's move on to
That's
reading
amazing.
this text.
Oh, it's all downhill from here, man. We might as well just read the dev update.
Wrap this up. Holy shit.
Oh boy. All right. So there's something special that's happening this week. Something huge that you have even at times. I remember having MHS Sam on here talking about Rosen Bridge, and we were asking him when, and he's like, "How come you're asking me when? Why don't you ask Mick on BlitzTCG when the hell that thing's coming out?" So
Yeah.
of being called out by MHS Sam, we finally have something really amazing that's happening on Friday. What's that?
We go live with our inaugural set of packs and cards. So we've minted at this point with the help of ErgoPad. Marty especially has been very kind in guiding me through the process, especially due to sort of the native complexity that Blitz sort of brings to this whole process. Guiding me through that process. And just this week, we sort of stood up the infrastructure necessary to support the pack opening process. That has all been successful. You can now view the 150 different cards directly on the Ergo blockchain, which is awesome. Right now, probably Auction House is the best place to look at them if you're just wanting to take a peek beforehand. And this Friday, and as we'll get here in a second for Louis, not so great of a day, but this Friday at 11 p.m. Central Time, you will be able to buy BlitzTCG packs for the first time.
That's
So,
absolutely amazing.
yeah, very
Hats off
exciting.
to you, sir. It's been how long's the journey been?
It's been going on 2 years of development. I work with over 25 people, 3 different companies. And we were joking about this before the call. I have so many different tech stacks that sometimes I forget what they are. Like people will be asking me questions. They'll be like, "And how do you host your images?" I'm like, I was in there yesterday, and it's just there's just so much. Oh, we also just speaking of tech stack, just yesterday, as I was doing the minting process with Marty, um, I moved our entire code repository for the game client and the website to be open source. And once Luca and I, LDG, some of you probably know him as, are done with the burn contract, that'll be open sourced as well on the repo.
That's amazing. We'll get to that in a sec of why you've chosen to do all that open source kind of stuff. But so where can people go and mint these packs?
Starting on Friday, yeah, you can head right over to our website. It'll be very clear. It'll say like buy packs and open packs. You can't get much clearer than that. The links will become active. We'll probably have a little bit of a countdown in the Discord. Only 25,000 first edition packs will be sold total.
How many cards in a pack?
5 cards in a pack. So there'll only be 125,000 cards out there in the wild. It might seem like a lot, but you have to remember there's 150 different types of cards, and there's a rarity spread. So we did some quick math the other day in the Discord. We have a pretty active Discord nowadays, and like Margot is one of the most popular cards already because I have like cutouts of her. People have made a stuffed animal of her, all sorts of crazy shit. And essentially, like if all 25,000 packs are opened, which might not even happen. Some people might just try to hold on to the packs. But if all 25,000 packs are open, because Margot's rarity for like the common pack, which will probably be the pack that most people buy because it's the cheapest, is only like 3%.
In the common pack of getting her?
The common pack of just rolling a legendary, and then there's like 2 legendaries that Margot is equal to. So really, Margot, you just got like a 1.5% chance per roll of the 5 cards that you get. So the short of it is, when you do that math, you end up seeing that like, well, crap, there might only be like 800 Margos, first edition Margos in existence. Very similar like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! As you see behind me. It's kind of, in fact, the whole rarity structure is based off of some of those older school card game rarity spreads.
So
So
there could be a game of people holding the pack and not opening it, and
right.
seeing there aren't many Margos out there, and people getting exciting and wanting to,
Yep.
even though right, the percentage chance isn't greater as more people don't get Margot, right?
Right.
It's an equal percentage per pack. But
That's right.
in people's heads, they may be like, there aren't many Margos out there. There's still chances to get her. So it could be like a thing to hold a pack to try to sell later.
It's
Super,
gonna
super cool.
happen.
Yeah, I
It'll
bet.
happen. It'll
I bet.
happen. Yeah. Yeah.
So I meant to ask you when you're talking about your cards, how many I imagine this took a lot of A plus plus mint Charizard's original print to fund this game, no?
Mhm. Yeah. So Blitz is if I'm understanding it right, Blitz has been completely self-funded through what I consider my hobby of buying and trading Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Card Fight. More recently, One Piece cards. They're pretty hot right now, so I have a whole stack of them behind me. And over this year and a half, 2 years, I have personally spent $72,000. I only say that number because I make all of Blitz's finances also open to the public. So you can see that these game companies that tell you it takes $20 million to make a game, they're full, I mean, they're full of it, dude. I don't even have enough time on this call to get into that. But basically, everything you see for Blitz, the artwork, the website, the game client, everything, the marketing, the conferences we've attended. I'm talking airplanes, food, all of that, all total in 2 years is 72 grand. And don't forget, there are projects out there right now asking for more than that just to get started.
Yep.
So I am very proud of what we've been able to accomplish with our relatively small and self-funded budget. So that in
That's
and of
amazing.
itself, I'm proud of. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's a lot of home packed lunches when you go out to conferences.
It is, my man. No, it is. Yeah, it is. They're like, you have to stay in this hotel. I'm like, oh no, no, please. Yeah.
Honey, can't we just stay in the car?
Yeah, right, right, right. How important is it? Yeah,
All right, so tell me, let's get a little technical. Tell
yeah.
me, so you had mentioned you were working with Marty and
Mm,
Luivatra, and
mm.
now I'm suddenly under the realization of why no Paideia in non-beta, because he's been very busy with
That's right.
this. So what were their roles in this, and what are their roles moving forward?
Yeah, Marty, Louis, big shout out to those guys, especially Marty. Louis more so behind the scenes, but Marty's been working with me sort of in person, face to face, dealing with my various complaints and feedback as he goes through and tries to make this successful. So he's had to deal with a lot. But those guys, yeah, those guys essentially are our mint. I mean, in some I got to be careful because this is definitely not an IPO, but you can think of it like an IPO in some ways, right? Where it's or ICO, whatever you want to call it, because they're essentially hosting our pack sale. And remember, Blitz doesn't use NFTs, so there are images tied to these things,
Hmm.
just like like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference if
Yeah,
you
it's trend. Yeah,
didn't know what
it's
you were looking
yeah.
at, but they're not NFTs. They're like truly fungible tokens. If you go into the auction house, it says like fungible token. It does not say NFT.
Hmm.
So, that all is to say it's probably more similar to like um, like the auction house token than it is like an Ergnomes NFT. Like the
No,
Blitz stuff is more
it's
similar.
Well,
to that.
it completely mirrors what card games and
That's
trading
right.
cards are in the real world. So
That's
I think
exactly it.
people
One
can eat.
Charizard, one
Yeah,
Charizard. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
It has to be that way, I think. I think people kinda go, we've talked about this philosophy before, but
Uh,
people tend to not do it that way. So
yeah, but I imagine it'd be very difficult to write all the exceptions in the contracts you have with 200 with 150,000 singletons. You know, that'd be absolutely insane.
be miserable, and then it also lowers the opportunity for interoperability because, like, that's sort of the whole point of
Yep.
Blitz. Like, if you own one of my characters, one of my cards, that essentially gives you the authority to use it however you want. For developers, like the open source licensing, is a little atypical. It's essentially, I don't care what you use from my game. You can use the entire thing, but if you use one of our characters in your game, the requirement is to unlock or utilize that character in whatever setting you're using them in. Maybe it's a fighting game, maybe it's some kind of RPG real-time strategy. Um, Whatever you wanna do with our characters, you have to always reference the token, the original token. So you have to look to a user's wallet, use that token to unlock it. That essentially gives you as a developer full rights to everything we've done. And it's just a nice way to share intellectual property. It benefits me because it brings more demand to the project. It benefits the user because they've already bought it once, they don't have to buy it twice, and it benefits that game because if Blitz gets any degree of popularity, they can tie themselves to our brand without paying anything.
Hmm.
You see? So that was sort of like my strategy with this from the beginning. Like I wanted to show people like a better way to share intellectual property and like truly make use of what makes blockchain and open source projects sort of work well together. And that's what it is. That's the secret sauce right
Well,
there.
anything in the pipe? Like, are we gonna see Margot pop up with usability in Cyberverse or anything like that?
We've been talking to the Cyberverse team. Yeah, there's nothing I can say for certain yet because we're still thinking about what we want to do, but I think, in my mind it's as simple as um let's just build a Margot skin, and basically you can use that Margot skin in the game if you own a Margot token. Um, and we of course would foot the bill for that. We've talked about it a little bit. We just, they have their own roadmap. That's the only tough part
Hmm.
with stuff like this. They're working on a lot too, and they want their game to be successful. If I was in their shoes, um, frankly, like I don't even take offense to them not prioritizing it because Blitz hasn't launched yet. They don't know
Understood.
how successful it's going to be. But I think like once Blitz does launch, and hopefully, knock on wood, there is some degree of success there. I think projects like Cyberverse and maybe even outside of our core ecosystem will be interested in leveraging the brand that is Blitz's characters, thus requiring them to reference the tokens, thus empowering, kind of raising like the tide that raises, all
Hmm. All
boats.
ships. Yep.
I'm excited, man. It's a good idea. We'll see if it works. I think it's a good idea though.
No, it
For
sounds like a
sure.
great idea.
Yeah.
So so eventually this game will be playable on, well, with characters in three blockchains: Ergo, Cardano, Nervos.
That's right. Yeah, and um real brief aside there. So Ergo, set, it's done. Like I know it all works. Everything works, which is really nice. Cardano, I've actually done the development. So I have like the wallet queries and the right logic in place in the game client, and the website's pretty straightforward after that too whenever I want to implement it. Um so pretty much like as soon as we're ready to mint on Cardano, we probably can, but I have to figure out who to work with for that. I might work with ErgoPad. They're stepping a little bit into that space. Um So it might be, let's see how this launch does. I mean, in hell, if this does really well, I think the ErgoPad team and myself would then be motivated to like, all right, let's get this next one done. Nervos, Nervos is even more interesting because as you all know, Nervos is trying to serve as like the Bitcoin layer 2, and they've made really good traction on that front. And they're just kind of the pinnacle of blockchain interoperability in a lot of ways. Um, they're really hot on Blitz, and I appreciate their hotness for Blitz. Their hotness is so heated, you might say, that they have to do development to actually handle Blitz's infrastructure.
Oh wow.
because of like the way we handle the packs and the tokens and a lot of that stuff. They focus more on other things. Like they have a great technology stack. I'd say it rivals Ergo and Cardano's, but because of their focus on their tech stack, like some of that metagaming stuff, I don't know what you want to call it, like gamified stuff, I think
Hmm.
has been a little deprioritized. So they've been looking for good projects to bring on. And I don't even remember how I got to talking to them in the first place, but I did. And we all just kind of got along really well. And I said, yeah, I'd love to bring this to your chain. And I started telling them what I would need. And they're like, oh, all right, well, let's think about that a little bit, and we'll get back to you. But so far so good. Like it's still definitely on the roadmap, and I'm moving forward with it as long as they are. So
So when you're talking about Cardano, it's something it made me think. Now Cardano has something called collections. You can leave a mint
mhm,
open, mint into the collection. You have a collection ID essentially,
yep,
and then you can have a ton of singletons all at once, and then you just check the collection to make
yep.
sure that they're part of it, and you're good to go. You're not going to use that, I assume. You're still going to just mint tokens. You're going to mint normal tokens with images, essentially just like Ergo.
Yeah, we'll probably mimic the Ergo approach as much as we can. I do actually have programmed in to the game client something that references the collection ID. Ultimately, to me, the key would be is I want the tokens to be as uniform as possible, just like we were talking about. So one Charizard equals one Charizard, one Margot equals one Margot. Like if that Margot singleton is different than this Margot singleton, that's a no deal for me.
Okay.
So that's probably the short answer there.
That makes sense. I think it's called policy ID. That's right on Cardano. I
Policy
just
ID.
looked it up.
Mhm,
Right. So all
mhm.
the NFTs can fit into the same policy ID. Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want one, like let's say one Margot has some unique character in its what's it called? In its asset ID.
Mhm.
Let's say it's got the word MAR in it. So it's like a Margot.
I
That
don't
all of a
want it.
sudden this Margot becomes like 30 times more expensive than all
Yep.
the other Margos.
People make up people determine what has
Yes,
value,
exactly.
right? So you have to kinda cut it off almost in some ways if you wanna keep the barriers to entry low. You're exactly right.
All right, so as somebody who's done development on both Ergo and Cardano, I'm not looking for any disses, and this could backfire on me, Mick.
Mm,
Um, what have you found are the differences in approachability of a dev coming into the ecosystem and just kind of starting from scratch and building things? What are some differences? Not necessarily bad, but
mm.
what are the differences between Cardano and Ergo that you found?
Well, Ergo, I can understand. Cardano, I can't understand at all. That's it. That's and next question. No, Ergo, I've built a very good friendship with MG Pi and LGD, um, over my time, which all the Ergo community will know who those guys are. They've essentially built every smart contract that's on Ergo at this point, aside from, like, the core platform. Um, and, LGD specifically, has spent a lot of time. I remember early on, we would spend an hour to 2 every week or so, and he would just talk me through his code. And at first I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, bro." But
And then
sure
and
enough, like,
then eventually you call them up at 10, you're like, "LGD, I'm having trouble going to sleep. Just
no,
just read some code for
it's
me."
not that deep. Yeah, yeah, send me to sleep, my prince. No, but
He
I
has
think
that voice, Mick. He's got that
he
soothing
does.
voice
God, he
like this
does.
with him.
Oh my god, especially when he's just so calm. I'm a pretty energetic guy. Like, I get excited. His energy level, like, this is like how I'm talking right now. I don't think he's ever reached this
I
level of
don't
energy.
think so.
I don't think in his life. He's gonna love this clip. Um, but, no, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, he educated me quite a bit on the Ergo side from, like, a Web 2 to blockchain perspective, like, outside the smart contracts. Even that's a little bit easier on Ergo. It's just more s it's just a little simpler. Um, the Cardano group, they just have such a large technology stack. They have so many different platforms. They have so many different ways you can do things. It's almost like analysis paralysis. You're like, well, I could use this type of API, or I could use Koios or whatever the hell it's called, or I could use this, or
Mhm.
a RESTful API. I could use this API. So even if you're trying to do web 2 to web 3 stuff, it took me way longer to like even be comfortable navigating that. It's not really where my background is. But with the Ergo stuff, they're just like, no, this is our API, man. You plug in an Explorer and put in what you want, and we'll throw it right at you. And I said, all right, that's great. Thanks, guys. Yeah, yeah. No, that's it. That's all I got for you on that one.
No, that's great. That's great. What what would you advice? All right, let's say so one of the things about Ergo is we're always looking for new people to come to the ecosystem. So if you could talk to yourself 2 years ago, besides saying turn and fucking run,
Yeah.
2 years ago, if you could give yourself some advice
Mm.
about anything when it comes to programming on the blockchain or interacting with the blockchain or community or building a specific game, what would you say to yourself?
Mm.
Besides giving yourself a big hug and saying,
It'll
"You're
be
in for a
okay.
treat, buddy. It'll be okay."
Yeah, right. Sleep now. Yeah. Where's LGD when you need them? That's right. That's right. Man, off the cuff, I think I think a little bit of context is needed. I won't go too deep here, but I do come from a very technical background. I was not a programmer. I was not a developer. I didn't really do much code. I did a little bit. I did a little bit of MATLAB in college, and I did some UI work in MATLAB, which is stupid to even attempt to do. It's not really made for that per se, but I did it. So but then I didn't touch it for like 6 years. And when I got into Blitz, it was really like I had the idea. I started getting these motivations. I started really reflecting on a lot about why blockchain is so frowned upon in the gaming community. Um, I think the one thing I wish I would have done earlier is map out better. Almost like this isn't gonna be like as impactful as you probably want, but almost map out like a better
I'll
MVP.
pretend it is. I'll pretend it
You
is.
don't need to. It's like I didn't I kinda went all in, all at once. Like, I tried to learn it all
Okay.
at once, right? Firebase, web dev, C Sharp, Unity, the game engine, all this blockchain crap. I just learned about IPFS the other day. Like how images are stored, right? Like, um, I don't know, like, I kinda took it all in a one big chunk, and it burned me out pretty bad. Like, I was doing really late nights in it, and I just thought, like, I had to have everything, like, pretty perfect before I move forward with, like, showing it to people and, even maybe bringing in revenue. Like, at this point, I'm sticking to my guns there, like, that's why it's been so long since I've sold anything. If I were to go back, I would've told myself, like, "Look, man, it's alright to not, like, try to do all this on your own, and in fact, you might even be able to do it quicker if you do get to a point where you have like a decent MVP, and then go out and maybe do the pack sale like a year earlier that I'm doing it now, right? Because it would have helped my bank account. It probably would have helped my mental health. It probably would have helped my just personal livelihood. Because 70 grand. I mean, I'm not a rich guy, right? Just so we all know, I work an 8 to 5 job like everybody else. I got lucky with my trading cards, but luck's only part of that. That still takes a lot of work. So I would just tell myself to maybe get help in that respect a little bit sooner. Maybe try to raise some funds, because ultimately what it would have done is allowed me to move faster with bringing the project out, and it would have lowered my stress levels. So it's like a win for the people who contributed and also a win for me. So that was just kinda like my ego getting in the way, I think. Like, I was like,
Mhm.
I can do it without your help," right? And I kinda walked off, right? "I don't need your help. I don't need your money." And some people think that's cool, and I think it's cool too, but I wouldn't do it if I went back to do it again.
I think that was very insightful. I think you underestimated the insightfulness of that.
Oh, good.
That's for sure.
Good. Well, you're playing it up really well. I appreciate that.
No, I'm being serious. And I think I told you this here last time we interviewed you, but I'm going to say it again for people who didn't watch. Your your technique here, the method that you did, really reminds me of a story I learned in music theory class. Composer's name was, I want to say Berliowitz or Berliowitz something. What's it? That was the name,
Mhm.
and he composed symphonies, and his symphonies were so imaginative, people just couldn't understand how. And
Hmm.
composers were asking him, "How did you, what strikes you? Why did you do it this way? Why did you choose to do this way?" And he simply said, um, I don't play the piano. He said, when you guys compose, you sit down at a piano and you're limited to the piano when you compose. He
Mhm.
said, when I compose, I don't play the piano. So my limitations are, they're not existent
Doesn't
compared to
even
yours.
see it. Yeah.
So that reminds me of what you said when you went right in without an MVP. You knew no limitations. If you had done the MVP, you might have been like, "Oh, we can't do this here. I don't know who LGD
Mm,
is at the time. He may
nope.
not be able to give me that advice. So maybe something would have been trimmed or pruned, or it wouldn't have come out the same." So you approached it as in anything's possible. Let's find out how to do it, as opposed to here's a written list of a product that we can make, and we're probably not going to be able to do this, and this. So
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's going to be stressful and that kind of thing, but it could have been the better path this way too for you personally. For the game,
Yeah.
at least for the creativity of it.
For the game. Yeah. Well, and I think we'll see. Right. I think it'll be in maybe another 4 or 5 months once we have time to fully bake that turkey, like how it actually turns out, and then ultimately because it's open source, I kind of want to see what other people do with it too. If they want to make their own spin-offs or use our characters like we were talking about, that to me is equally exciting. So it should be a fun time.
Can we go to Andy's been bugging me. I swear. So he as you know, Andy contacted you or you contacted Andy, and Andy was like, "Hey, Blitz is coming out with a pack. You should do the dev update." I was like, "Awesome."
Yeah.
So, but he also said, "And by the way, when you're doing the dev update with Blitz, can you go to the full screen share mode so you can show off his stuff?" He loves the full screen share mode. So if you don't mind, I'd like to share. Let me share it so you can see what I'm doing here.
All right.
Let's see. There it is. Right about now, you should see in the window that I'm sharing
Yeah.
your webpage. All right, fantastic. So let me switch to full screen share so everybody else can see it. And there we go. Andy, I hope you're happy.
Ah, ah.
All right, so explain to me what we're seeing here. Where people can buy packs, I imagine, right here on top.
Yeah. Once Friday comes around, you'll be able to buy packs. You see the sort of token sale timer there.
Oh, look at
Um,
that. Look at that detail you wrote in. You didn't even just lock buy packs, but when you put your mouse over the damn
mhm.
thing, it says coming soon.
Yeah, this was all if it was not obvious from looking at it, this is not a templated website. This from the it's hard to say, most consumers don't care. They're just like, "Oh, this is fine." But so all of a little bit of education, doing something like this takes tremendously more time than just, like, referencing a template. Um, this is all, like, custom text and custom colors, and I mean, it's just everything. But yeah, if you go to collectibles, this is probably what he wants to see. If you go to collectibles there at the top, um, so you're already signed in. I see. You of course you don't have any cards. Oh, you do
Uh,
have a few cards. Yeah, scroll down. These are just cards that I've plugged into random token IDs for testing purposes. So you probably have some like Gold in your wallet and some Kushti and stuff like that in your wallet
yep.
probably.
7
Um,
pages of cards. Holy shit.
Yeah, so there's 150 cards and if you click the reason they load so fast is because I did some clever stuff to make them load fast, but if you click I won't get into it. If you click one of these,
Which one do you
um,
want me to click?
anyone you want, man, pick whatever you think looks cool.
Oh, let's pick Chuckles.
You like I like Chuckles too. Yeah, when you click them, you're gonna see the amount you own right there. I still have a little bit more dev to do before Friday. There'll be a couple links that either take you to the auction house or the Sky Harbor Market. A few values or placeholders right now in there. And then eventually, once the burn contract is released, you'll actually just be able to burn it right from the website. Because if you're like, this thing's only worth like 10 cents and I have like 60 of them, you can just burn all 60 at one time and get a bunch of Blitz tokens back.
And burning them supposedly presumably will upgrade the value of them, correct?
It's
Make them
I
more
ac
rare.
I've literally brought in an economist to think about Blitz, this economy. He's in our Discord, very kind guy, because to my knowledge, this is the first of its kind type of token generation. Because what we're doing is there is no pre-mint of Blitz tokens. So like I'll have the same amount of tokens when we launch the burn contract as you, and they're only generated when cards are burned. So it's going to be really interesting. The more cards people burn, the more tokens there are in circulation,
Mm-hmm.
but then the less cards there are in circulation. So it's almost like you're trading one fungible token for other fungible tokens. Um, but overall, over time, the more cards that are burned, you're correct. I would expect the value of each of these card fungible tokens to go up. So we'll see.
The arc was just amazing. How many artists are combined here?
Well, if you scroll up, you'll see some other fun stuff I put in there. If you go to artist, because I think it's important,
Uh,
in the middle there, under your cards collected, you'll see a little, you'll see a little filter to the right, on
yep.
the far right. There you go. Artist, click that. Those are all your artists. And so
No shit.
if you click one of them,
That's
just click, yeah, you'll see all their art. And now you see there's a few gray ones on the screen because you don't have all these test tokens that I was
Yep.
testing with. And that's essentially how it works, man. So
Holy shit.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, the amount, a lot of people, I think most people know about Blitz on Ergo, but I don't know like how much you know about Blitz. Blitz is bringing so much infrastructure to Ergo.
These are beautiful.
It's a lot, man.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thanks, brother.
So
Yeah.
I won't when I connect these, it'll eventually say 0 after
That's
you
right.
reset these kind of test tokens. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, after tonight, after April 24th, everybody's will be 0 because I'll be updating all this in the back end.
And then we may have some common cards that will be given if we have certain things in our wallet for free, regardless of whether we buy a pack or not. What do
That's
you
right.
what do you estimate the maximum? What's the maximum amount of free cards people can utilize in game with if they just buy the tokens on Spectrum or have them in their wallet?
The amount of free card we have 20 non-blockchain cards, which will be plenty to play the game
So those exist those exist as soon as you
already.
connect. You don't
You,
need anything in your wallet.
you don't even see their artwork on this page. I was
Okay.
thinking maybe I should edit at some point, but yeah, there's actually there's 170 cards total. Just 150 of them are collectible, and then there's 2 technically that fall outside of this right now that are based on Hosky from Cardano. And if you own at least one Hosky token or one Hosky NFT, you just unlock that card for free.
That include our Husky?
It could, yeah. It's just and that's kind of the beauty of how we've designed this. It is as simple as pointing to that token ID. So as long as that token ID is consistent, which I'm sure it is, then yes, we could just add that to the list of eligible token IDs, and you could unlock it. So, oh yeah, we have like RS Hosky or some shit, don't we?
That's what I mean. Yeah, RS Husky.
Yeah, it'll work. Yeah, that'll work just fine.
Amazing. And uncuts. Jesus.
I'm actually gonna write that in. That's a good one for me to remember to do.
I hope you have what's it called? I don't hope. Are you did you print any of these out for yourself and frame them or put them up in an array anywhere?
Not yet. It's a good point, but the Nervos guys were very kind, and one of them actually got a couple physical cards made and did some stuff like that for
Wow,
me.
they know how to butter you up, Mick.
I tell you what,
Ergo's
Ergo's got a lot to live up to, man.
I'm gonna put in a Paideia proposal for the SIGs to take you out to a steak dinner or something.
Yeah.
Give you a gold Margot or something and
Yeah,
print.
I appreciate that.
Shit.
No, man. They gave me stuff to send to the conferences. They sent me shirts. Dude, I know. Don't get me
Alright,
started.
we gotta step up our
You better
game
get
here.
to the Discord chat here soon. It's gonna people are gonna
Shit.
go look at Nervous's YouTube channel.
Oh,
Oh,
damn it. I mean, that
let's
makes a
see.
good point, Mick,
Mhm.
that, that's something that we're not paying attention to that we need to. We need to, Yeah, I mean, right now our thought is, the consensus among these this open source ecosystem is people will come in, they'll love it, and then they'll stick. But
Yep.
you're right. Showing appreciation in some way, even with a T-shirt,
Little
like,
stuff.
oh, hey, here's a new dev, like when Grand Gambit came on,
Yep.
kind of thing way back when, and he made Flip in like a week. It would have been nice if we had like a welcome package that were like, hey man, here's some coupons for Imperium website, get yourself an Ergo T-shirt or something on us, kind of thing.
That's smart.
That's
Really smart.
I think we should set funds aside for that.
It
I don't
wouldn't be.
want.
You wouldn't need much.
No, you
It
don't
wouldn't
need
be much.
right.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be much.
Yeah, and yeah, I can't have Nerval stealing you away with some swag,
swag.
Mick.
Dude, I mean, they literally made a Margot plushie, my man.
Oh,
They
fuck.
made a Margot. You haven't seen the
We
Margot
bye,
plushie?
Mick. Bye.
Yeah. You haven't seen the Margot plushie. That's legendary.
Do
Maybe
you
we'll
have it
put
with you right there?
I'll put a link to it in the
Okay.
in the chat. We'll look at it at some point. That's some
Oh.
funny. It's really funny.
All right, so it's really easy here. Let me show you. I disconnected. I signed out.
Yeah.
Super easy. You hit sign in, email address, password, cached. It automatically pops up with my wallet. It did. So we hit connect. I'll connect. I don't think you can see my wallet pop up, but Nautilus just popped up. And I'll connect with that, and you'll see this change in 1 second. Let's go back to here.
It changed on my screen. You didn't see it change?
It changed to connect. Oh yeah, sorry, it did.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, it was already there. You're good.
I'm looking at the NNECT and I'm like, why isn't it changing?
Oh
When it says
no.
disconnect.
It happens instantly. Yeah, I mean
It's
it's
fast, yeah.
pretty much instantly.
Oh, fantastic. And then you got some videos here for people to watch that aren't familiar with it.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, let me switch back to our other view here and stop the sharing on this screen so that you're not what's it called? Seeing doubles there. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's when you look at this product, you know that this project, you automatically see that it's like there's serious thought involved in this. You can see the meticulous detail that you've put into everything. It just shines through. It's not one of these empty. They're like you in Cyberverse. It's like the amount of yeah. I don't even have words for it, man. It's amazing. The artwork, it brings me back that nostalgia time of opening those packs when I was in high school and seeing those new cards come out of
It's fun, man. I appreciate that. Now a lot of people work really hard, so
I can't wait. I'm gonna have to prime my I'm gonna have to point my DCA towards the pack sale on Friday.
it's fun to open them too.
My wife's not listening.
It's a little addicting, man. Like I was testing it with Marty. I just like kept going for 2 or 3 minutes, like because I wanted to see what kind of cards I would get. And I'm like, oh shit, I needed to stop because it's like because I still had to pay for it. They were like, it's like only a few pennies, but I kept getting more and more, and I'm like, man, all right, this is not
addicting,
good.
right?
So actually, in my video when I was demoing the pack opening, I made a joke. And like you can see just how fast it is. Like you're buying, you can buy packs like boom, 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 and then as soon as because it's UTXO, as soon as that one block is processed, you get all those packs, and you can if you said I don't need the pack, would actually open them at the same time, so you could buy like 50 packs. They're all ready to be opened in like 30 seconds to a couple minutes. And then you just kind of sit there and you're like, doop, ooh, doop, ooh, doop, ooh. And then next one, doop, ooh, doop. So it's
Oh, this is dangerous.
it's dangerous. And I made a joke, but I was being serious too at the same time. I'm like, be careful, right? Don't throw too much at it right away. Let's be a little cognizant. But it's fun. It is fun. We have a nice little animation that plays, and then you can like literally reveal the cards on the screen. You flip them over.
One at a time?
Yeah, well, if I don't know how much we want to bounce around, but if people go to my website, that video at the bottom,
Yeah.
I show it. You can see it.
So you open the pack, it shows 5 cards face down.
Uh-huh.
And then you click on each one to flip one at a time. Dude, it sounds like you've talked to a psychologist and you've gotten that gambling itch to get scratched. Right?
It's fun. It's dangerously fun. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where 50K your budget went to. The psychology of pack opening.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think that's the thing though, man, is that like I know we're joking, but I mean, you see again behind me, man. That's kind of I live and breathe trading cards. You know, it's something I've been doing since I was a can't even remember. I can't even remember a time before I didn't have cards. So it's like, you know, I know what's fun about it. You know, we do pack tricks, so we know like you know, the holographic Pokemon card is the fourth card from the back. So we'll move 3 cards to the front so that you see the last card at the very end, which is the holographic. So we purposefully move the holographics to the back, and we do that with a bunch of different cards when we're opening packs because it's just kind of fun. It's just
Yeah,
like,
to wait till the end. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right,
yeah.
that's right. You don't even care about the 12 in front. You're just like, but you still act like you care, right? You don't
That's like
want to,
that's like when I was a kid and I ate Lucky Charms. You eat all
right?
the all the crusty cereal first, and you leave all the marshmallows for
That's right.
last.
That's
You
right.
just pound those puppies.
That's right. I mean, that's so true. You know, if we just want to open packs and go right to the holographic, we could do that.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Like nobody that opens packs
There's
regularly does that.
something thrilling about
Mhm.
withholding yourself from doing that and
Yeah.
knowing that it's there, knowing that you've positioned it that way,
Yep.
and then working your way towards it.
And you could cheat just like in Ergo. You could cheat. Like as soon as those packs are open, you could go right to your
That's
wallet.
true. Yeah,
You could go
yeah.
right to your wallet, and you could just look at the 200 tokens you just got and been like, "Oh, I didn't get a Margo." I don't think
Mhm.
anyone's gonna do it. I think that everyone will go line by line and open up every pack that they have. So,
That's a good point. I should warn everybody. So everybody that's doing this, you should turn off Ergo Monitor for the wallet that's receiving
mm,
the packs.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get a Telegram notification with all the names of the NFTs that are coming into your wallet
Mhm.
right there.
Mhm. That's funny. It gets
That'll
spoiled.
spoil it. Yeah.
That'll be you'll see the most disabling of that tool you've ever
Yes.
seen.
Also, it's like, what I do? Fuck.
What happened? Jesus, yeah. Oh
Oh
my
boy.
god.
All right.
Oh,
What do you say we jump into the dev update
do it, man.
readings? All right. Perfect. Let me switch to the view right here. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take the first one, Mick, because I think you should take the second one.
Sure.
How's that sound? All right.
That's great.
We have Luivatra, and we've learned during this dev update why Paideia isn't fully done because he's been preparing for pack sale launch, including setting alarm for 6 a.m. on set. Oh, he throws you under the bus
He's
right
done.
there.
I told you. I told
Thank you. He
you.
says. Oh, poor Louis.
Oh,
With Padilla, he did some testing with implementing EIP5. Seems to work without parameters, but parameters don't quite work correctly as far as I can tell. Not sure how to turn them into constant placeholders at least. And he's got the GitHub right there. Hopefully he figures it out or somebody helps him. All right, we've got LowKeyNerd, BlitzTCG, which is you, Mick.
of course.
Why don't you take your own update?
Yeah, I mean, we might have covered it already, or it might have been obvious, but we did complete the pack and card token mint. So, like, you can view those collections wherever you like to view collections. But at this point, probably Ergo Auctions is the best place to go. You can click the link right in the Discord if you sort of frequent the Discord to be taken to that, or just search on your own time. The project's fully open source, so our GitHub link is linked right from our website. Um, It'll take you to the organization where you can see the entirety of the game code and entirety of the website code. If you're the type who don't like to sign transactions without sort of initially looking at what you're signing behind the scenes, you have the ability to do that, like with the little demo that was just shared a moment ago, where the transaction was signed and it updated the wallet address. You can
Mhm.
literally see that code if you so chose. Um, and then, yeah, the burn contract, literally working on that tonight with LGD. I'm going to get him over the token ID so that he can wrap that up. So it's exciting stuff, man. Really exciting stuff.
I'm excited.
And we have, do I typically introduce the next person? You kind of set that precedent. So do I introduce the
You're
next person?
welcome to. Let's throw
That's
it
how we're
back that
doing
way.
it. That's how we're doing it. I kind of want to introduce the next person, the man, the legend himself, Kushti, with an update I'm glad I'm not reading. So why don't you go ahead and
All right, here we go. We've got Kushti with Ergo Protocol and Reference Client Research and Development. He's got big int constructor for ErgoScript for 5.x. He's got the GitHub pull right there. A new function to check proof of work for a custom message for a variety of Autolycos 2. He's got the GitHub right there pull. He's working on header POW validation. He's got more unused code removed in the Sigma Master interpreter, Sigma State interpreter. Invite to review soon. And he's polished a few node PRs and invited to review there. And there's a test which is showing how to add new methods with current client being not broken. He made a test on extending header format. Too early to review as it will be extended. And he improved EIP 50, which is Sigma 6.0. That's what he was talking about in the AMA or the dev update the other day. EIP, making an EIP 50. Oracle Pools Dexy, he reviewed the GitHub Oracle Core right there. That may have been PGR 425. I forget the numbers after him. Perhaps. So that one's still issuing mainnet tokens and checking the contracts, writing a text on tracking contracts, trustless oracles for gold oracle to LP price ratio. Chaincash doing a text to submit to a conference on alt monetary theories and systems. ErgoDevs DAO had a lot of talks on attracting grants investments. And I think they're getting near for the Devs DAO to getting enough people for the multi-sig. So that's looking pretty cool to be involved in that. Are you going to jump into the ErgoDev DAO at all?
I don't know what it is. Explain it to me.
So he's looking to have essentially a DAO for developers on Ergo to either fundraise or
help support them.
Yeah, you got it. Yep.
That's
super
really
cool.
good. No, that's really smart. Well, it kind of goes back to some of the stuff we were just talking about. Like, it's good to incentivize developers, man. I mean, those are the people that'll bring the project to the next level. It's kind of like what was that thing that I was just like, oh, the Apple Vision Pro, the new like augmented, AI mixture, smart glass thing. The feedback on that was like, yeah, the product's like pretty good. It's like definitely an alpha product, but the problem is there's no apps for it, so no one's going to use it. Like, what makes this useful isn't that you can make phone calls anymore. Like, what makes this useful is that it has 40 apps on it that you use, and I think a lot of that applies to the blockchain as well. So
I will say, Mick, that Apple can get away with that though. They purposely do
I
this.
use an Android, just to
You
be
do?
clear.
I
know you saw the logo. All right, this is a test device because I do some phone development on the side. This is my real
What is that? iPhone X? Is that an X?
This is a jailbroken S8.
S8. Oh wow.
Yeah.
No. The iPhone. That's an X.
Oh, this?
It looks
I don't
like
know
an
what
X.
this is. I don't know what this is.
So what I was saying is Apple can get away with that stuff, Mick. I think they're one of the bigger companies that can take advantage of the fact that they can release a product that's really expensive, that has a desert for apps. They can get it out to reviewers, get some hype up because it's probably going to be good because it's expensive. They put a lot of money and research into it. And then that hype builds, and then eventually they start releasing stuff, control the ecosystem completely. So they control the user experience, and then they go from there. But yeah, I mean they're lucky in that matter, at least for that.
It's an 8 plus. Sorry, that's why I got confused. An 8 plus. No, this is old. This is old. It's an old phone. I mean, like probably 4 years old. It's an old phone. It is what it is. Anyways,
no, 8 plus. That's like 2014, man.
Don't worry about it, man. We're doing.
I gotta look this up. Hang on. Hang on.
Look, we're like Quokka and I are developing an AI application.
Yeah, bro, that's 2017. You're old school in that iPhone, man.
Man, nasty.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Just kick me off. Delete this video after.
Apple's gonna come after you pretty soon. You got to be careful. They're gonna knock down your door, swap it out for an iPhone 15.
Literally double the number. Isn't that insane? Oh my god.
Holy shit.
That's insane.
All right. We've got C8 Hodlbox for you, Mick.
Oh yeah, go on down. Doge UI integration done. Somebody explain to me what this is. Because I had a one-liner and I feel like that's just not enough.
All right, so Hodlbox is something that Timur and Chris maybe, and C8, maybe C8 is Chris, I'm not sure.
Okay.
And one other dev I think have developed for a hackathon. It may have been the latest hackathon too. Essentially, it's a lock for. There's a couple different tokens. I think it's Yeah, there's AirDoge now. There's Walrus. There's
Mm.
those NFTs that are the like demons. I can never remember the name of those.
Mm.
And so what it does is there's several different levels of Hodlbox. So if you put in 10 ergs to a Hodlbox, you're not allowed to unlock it until erg is at $20 or a certain date is passed. So essentially it's a paper hands kind of anti-paper hands tool that they use. So they advertise 5,000 erg, but it's 5 erg and air doge going to 100 times. And that's how long you lock it for. So it may never happen.
Never getting that back. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's funny though.
So
That's
yeah,
really
so that's so whatever the big number on top is what it's going to be during the unlock. So if you go to the 20,000 erg box, it costs what's the math on that? 1,000 erg or yeah, something like that. Yeah, 1,000 erg. So it's a super cool concept.
It is
yeah,
cool.
yeah, and you get these really cute chests as well
I
that
love
signify
it.
your status.
Yeah.
Like the here. Let me, now you've asked for it. Hang on a second.
Yeah, hit me, man. I'm ready. I didn't know anything about this project.
Let me see. Let me see if I can find the website quickly. I can't. Darn it. But yeah, the boxes are pretty neat, pretty ornate. They're well done. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, look, I only got like a one-liner on that one. Let me do.
Why don't you
Rosen.
take this? So let me introduce it for you. Next we have Mohammad with Rosen Bridge. Mick, it's all you. Go for it.
Well, I mean, you all know I love Rosenbridge. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, you talk about whales. I am the Rosen Watcher whale. I am the watcher.
You span up like 50 of the watchers.
100. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You talk about a risk of centralization. You know who that risk is? Me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I just really like the concept, man. So I was supporting that like from literally day one. So Rosenbridge, near and dear to my heart. Let's get into it. So finish direct messaging scaling test successfully. Finish peer discovery scaling test successfully. And those are 2 links there you all can click into. We got start working on identifying node external IP as a prerequisite to NAT traversal using hole punching. Now, if you don't know what that means, I don't either, so that's fine. And we'll go on to the next one. Start the implementation of assets page, and that, that's a much simpler bullet to get through. It looks like this is the Watcher app on heading. So start working on adding support for ARM v7 architecture. I actually ran into trouble with this, enabling
did,
Watcher to be run on a wide range of Raspberry Pis. I was able to get one of my Watchers working on Raspberry Pi, but it did not use ARM, I don't think. I forget how LGD and I navigated that, but we were messing around with it early on.
You used a Docker version, I imagine. No, it's all Docker.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, we did use Docker, but I forget how we got around. Anyways, I got a video of it somewhere of it working because I thought it was cool. They add trust key to TSS API, integrate Bitcoin.
Woot.
I mean, I feel like that should be a longer bullet. And the next one, integrate Bitcoin. I imagine this goes out to their GitHub. Yeah, it does. It goes out to their GitHub. So you probably see a lot more detail there if you all wanted it. Implement EVM address transaction extractor under review and test also goes out to their GitHub. Add trust key, fix some signing issues for ECDSA protocol. And again, I think pretty much all these links go out to their GitHub. Move all existing parameters to the new health check mono repo as an individual package. Implement it WID service, add a web API service, which these are all good things, by the way, folks. This is them improving the watcher experience, which is what I care about. Display Minotaur, display token count in wallets list page, fix bug in multi-sig signing transaction by C84. Display icon for some known tokens. This feature is under test. What is Minotaur? Because that's not an
Minotaur is a multi-sig wallet made by this team. It's and they came out with version 2 a couple months ago. It's a huge UI upgrade. It's beautiful. It's become my main desktop wallet next to Satirgo. But
Really?
yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. What we use for the Sigmanaut's treasury multi-sig. It's what
Wow.
we use for the Ergo Guard multi-sigs for all the wallets, all that kind of
Mm,
stuff. It's absolutely gorgeous. It allows for multi-sig cold signing combos, so you can put Minotaur on. Do I have it here? I don't have my key here. I have a little Palm. It's
mm,
like that Palm's 100. I forget it's called. It's the
yeah.
tiniest phone you've ever seen. It's meant as like an accompaniment phone that also carries the same SIM card as your phone. I bought
Okay.
it a couple years ago. Super cool, but it runs Android. So you put Minotaur on that. You side load it while it's offline,
Mm,
and you put you generate a wallet there. Your signing key, and then you add the multi-sig wallet there as well. So all offline. And then you can make a read-only multi-sig on the online version on your computer with
wow.
Minotaur. And when you go to sign a transaction, you can start it from your computer from the read-only, and it throws up a QR code. You scan it from your phone. Your phone throws up a QR code to sign it. You turn the face and put it back into your computer to read that, and then you broadcast a transaction to whoever you're
Wow.
multi-sigging with. So I hope they put I mean, it seems like they're putting a lot of funds into this, a lot of time
Yeah.
into this. So hopefully we're
Wow.
looking at like dApps built into it eventually too.
Dang.
It's really cool. Hop on it. They have a Mac build, a Windows build, a Linux build.
Jesus.
So they
That's
have an
awesome.
Android build, and they have a Mac an iOS build. I think you can install if you have a developer's license. I think you can push it yourself to your phone, sideload it that way on iOS.
Cool.
But super cool.
That is really, really cool. Well,
Oh, and
oh,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
on.
Are you good?
I think all they're meaning here is the it'll be able to tell instead of a local network IP, it's got to be able to tell the outside IP address, so they know how to properly hole punch through it to communicate with it.
Interesting. Interesting. Let me get
Uh,
the next one. Is that NeuralYogi here?
no, right here, Colby.
Oh, Colby Celador. Well, I think these are questions. Now, this isn't a deb update, is it?
Oh, that's not. You're totally right.
No, no. Yeah, let's go down to NeuralYogi, and you can take that one.
NeuralYogi, also known as Mark the Shark, is our resident dashboard creator for the Sigmanauts mining pool.
Oh, cool.
He says version 2 of the dashboard is live, currently working on the back end to integrate a database, which will open up for more development on new metrics like 7-day, 3-day, 24-hour hash rate effort, etc., pool effort, and miner effort for blocks found for a given miner, and more. That's my fault. I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be mirroring my mining core database to another server, so then he can just rip stuff from that instead of pounding the mining core server. Yeah, sorry, Mark the Shark. It's on my list. I promise. I'll get it done. Oh boy.
Savage. All right.
Yes.
And is this our last one
We
coming
got
up?
two more. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Canon 2? Canon's is an
Hmm.
update. Okay. Well, let me
No,
do Death.
Mick, I got to announce this for you.
Oh, that's right.
We've
That's
got
right.
dEathgripson with atomic swap software.
Jeez,
Mick, it's all you.
jeez, starting to
You're
sweat
getting
in.
excited. I know.
I know, I'm getting excited. All right. So the atomic swap software. So before I get into it, give me like a little two-liner on the atomic swap software.
So atomic swap is kind of like a BISC where you can swap cross-chain things like in an open peer-to-peer based
Oh
network.
yeah.
So you can advertise that you want Bitcoin for Ergo, I believe, and swap.
Nice.
He may be doing it a little differently than BISC, but that's the general concept, essentially a peer-to-peer swap network
That's
across
pretty
chain.
cool. I'm gonna
Yeah,
give him
super
a little
cool.
Ergo
And
icon on that one. That's neat.
yeah, and the winner of the last Ergo hack too.
Oh, awesome. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so
for
he's been cranking updates every week since the Ergo hack one when it's been great.
dang. All right. Well, I'll have to get to know him. So dEathgripson atomic swap software. Finish updates to handle encrypted client and server accounts. Doing testing back and forth across encrypted and non-encrypted accounts to check for bugs right now. So it looks like he's doing some QA work. Plans. Integrate account login functionality into UI. Very important. Integrate live price feed data. Also probably very important for something like you just described with swapping assets. Implement reloading of swap data on the fly after a software shutdown or reset. So that's probably something to do with like some cache values that he's trying to mitigate. Preparing for testnet phase that will be open to all willing testers. Now notice he says willing here. I got a story about this. Early on, I tested Spectrum. All right. You be careful when you test this type of stuff. They
Oh
were
God, what'd you
they were
lose?
very kind, and they gave me back my Ergo, but there was sort of I think it was like a slippage bug where it didn't update in the moment and the UI showed something that was not true. Um, it certainly doesn't do that anymore. But I was like, "Oh, I love this. I'll do this. I'll test this. I can't wait to do this." Just like, a happy little idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I put like 800 erg at it to do it, dude. And it whatever I did, it only gave me like 200 back, and I was like,
Shit.
"Huh, all right. Well, that sucks." Lesson learned. All right. And you think I've learned that lesson so many times. So many times. I just get too excited. I mean, it coulda happened with the damn watchers too, man. I'm like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I can't wait to get into this. Take everything." Yeah. Yeah. No, don't do that, people. Even with Blitz, give Blitz like 12 hours at least, you degenerates. Jesus. Just don't do
No,
it.
I was with watches. I what's it called? I dipped my toes in the liquidity pool.
Yeah.
I saw it happen 2 hours or maybe an hour or so after the launch
Mhm.
with the Rosen token, and and I put up a tweet, and I just let the tweet sit there from the main account, and I was like, yeah, I should buy some Rosen. This is probably
That's
a good
right. That's
investment.
right. That's
So
right.
I think I put in an order for 300, but I immediately I saw people complaining about the slippage, so I was like, all right, 7% slippage,
Yeah.
max nitro. I put in a 300 order and it came right out. I was like, oh, great, that's great. And then I saw it just starting to tick up, and I was like, yeah, maybe I should put in some more. But I
Oh
do
my
kick myself for not hitting all the first, the first as soon as I saw it. But hey,
Yeah, I dumped half my org stack
holy
into
shit.
it, which is why I have so many. Yeah, we don't have to go into any more details, but that's I mean, I already said it. You know what it takes to get to 100 permits. So
Yes, I do. I do. Oh
Ugh.
boy. All right, introduce this next one.
All right. A good friend of mine frequents the Discord often, helps give advice and feedback. I think has helped potentially even playtest, or at the very least has given feedback on the game client. My good friend Canon Q.
Canon's talking about the field, which is a peer-to-pool pledging protocol where individuals can pledge assets to support a participant in a competition. The project will be DAO driven and open source. He's got the he if he saw this video, he would have taken your advice. He's got the MVP smart contracts. They're complete. Next step is testing and review. Successfully tested full flow of contracts for a single winning pledge. This tested contract components, guard market creation, guard market acceptance, user pledge, guard set winner, count pledges, user payout. On-chain TX for the last stage, user payout shown here. He's got the Explorer example. Crafting pitch deck and FAQ to explain project to folks. Join us at his Discord to find out more and or volunteer to move the project DAO forward.
Dang.
And that is it for the dev reading, Mick.
Wow. We're
What
so
a
good.
dev update. So we are at 1 hour and 2 minutes. That's a healthy dev update,
A
Mick.
chunky boy. That's
We
a big
have we,
chunky
we
boy.
haven't even been drinking, and I feel
Oh,
like we're being silly, like we're
we're
drinking.
being silly. I'm in a damn leotard, dude.
Speaking of, you got to go. You don't even have time to eat dinner now. You got to go right to gymnastics. You got like
I
8
do.
minutes.
Well, luckily we made soup tonight because you can't eat too big of a meal when you go do gymnastics either, folks. If that's not obvious. Like there's
You don't
some
want
things
to.
you don't
You don't
think
want to look
about.
bloated in your leotard, Mick.
No, it's not being bloated. I don't want it to be all over my leotard because that's where it would be. No
All
joke
right,
there.
all right. How do you want to end this? I'll give you the ending. Go for it. You take it away.
Um,
What do you want to say?
I've said so much about Blitz, folks. I'll just end with this. A sincere thank you to the Ergo community. I mean that. I got engaged with Ergo because of the kindness and openness of the community. I was shopping around actually for blockchains as I got into all this. And I did shop Cardano originally. I shopped Chia. I shopped several blockchains. The most receptive community to my idea, without even knowing who I was or if I was legit. Just a random Reddit post where I outlined my ideas, and I got so much positive reception. I got almost immediately introductions to people that are very sort of staple names in the community. I'm like, oh, this is a no brainer. Like, of course, I'm going to use this blockchain. Didn't know shit about it. at that point. Is just because it was so welcoming. I'm like, this cannot go poorly, because I would rather have good people than some like behind the scenes, closed curtain bull crap. So, point being, really appreciate everybody's help, advice, guidance, and hopefully this weekend your support in making Blitz successful. So thank you.
I'll be there, Mick. I'll be there
Appreciate
opening.
that. I
Thanks.
appreciate that, man.
Thanks so much for coming up. Awesome words, and we're grateful to have you here in Ergo, Mick.
Thanks.
Ciao, everybody.
Yeah.